Well, starting it off right with a little bit of Josie.
Steely's Dan.
Yes, yes, by Larry's Carlton.
Larry's Carlton, yes.
So, if you can't tell already, what I have sitting next to me is an incredibly rare and unusual piece of gear that is definitely a historic piece. This is a Dumble-modified Fender Vibrolux. For those of you that want to get into a Dumble and can't quite afford the $200,000+ price tag, this is actually a great way to get in. This is $45,000. And that sounds like a lot for an amp, and it is, but it's a great way to get the tone that's part of the signature sound that you'd expect of an Overdrive Special, and you don't have to put up a mortgage on a house.
No.
So this is really, I think, a great starting place for that sound, and we'll very much demonstrate all the capabilities of this in terms of the Overdrive Special style sounds, in addition to some really beautiful kind of classic Fender clean tones. And it has some very interesting features, which I haven't seen in a lot of the Dumble Overdrives or in a lot of the Ultraphonics or other various mods that you've seen on Fenders that were done by Dumble. Namely, this actually has a full-blown overdrive circuit in it. It has removed the reverb. It has included the tremolo circuit still, which we're going to get to hear some of today. There's one really interesting feature set of this amplifier that I think really makes it unique, even comparatively to other Dumble Overdrive Specials.
Yeah.
Is that it has a 6-way rotary position in what was originally the input 2 of the vibrato channel. And just sweeping that can give you a additional variety of tones separately from anything that any of the onboard EQs can do.
Yeah.
So I think it's just important just to understand as a starting place of what this does. So I want to turn it all the way back to the very first position because we were kind of in the middle position and just sweep through all the things that it does with you playing the same way.
Let's do it.
So that not only to me seemed to sharpen the high end and kind of hone it, but it just became instant, easy feedback the more we went up.
Instant. Like on position 1, the amp kind of felt good, obviously, but contained.
Yeah.
The more you put it up on the rotating switch, it just came bigger, bigger, bigger.
Right.
And to the point where the note would sustain for
Infinitely, practically. Yeah.
It was crazy.
So for the purposes of today, I'm going to leave it in the middle so we kind of have some semblance of a tighter, more kind of put together sound and something that may be slightly more prone to feedback.
Yeah.
And then you can extrapolate from that how it might behave given whatever your own personal preferences are for getting feedback.
Yeah.
So where do you think we should start with this, Gabe, in terms of tones? You're already holding a Les Paul.
So, like you heard, we had this kind of Edge-of-Breakup tone with Josie. Let's take it back to where it all starts with the Fender amp. Pure, clean tone with some John Mayer, I Want to Find Another You, Les Paul, neck pickup, and a bit of vibrato from the amp for you to check it out as well.
And in order to do that, to facilitate the differences between the clean and the overdrive tone, it's just a matter of just pulling out the volume switch here. Okay. So I'm going to have it pulled out here for clean. Gabe, take it away.
Let's do it.
That was a beautiful, just absolutely amazing clean tone. The vibrato on this is so rich and lush. I absolutely love that about it. I want to hear another clean tone, but I want to trade you guitars here.
Let's do it.
And let's kind of get into like maybe more of like a Hendrixy sort of vibe. And I'm going to push it in to go for a more overdriven sound, but I want to see how it cleans up. So maybe start with the guitar more wide open so we kind of have a reference point, and then show how dynamic this overdrive is, where it kind of gets the essence of the clean tone, but just adds a little bit more hair to the note.
Totally. Let's do it. So here we have Strat, volume on 10. Back it to 8. I think 7 is a sweet spot.
All right, so we have a nice baseline of what it sounds like wide open and that beautiful cleanup. I agree with you. 7 is a great sweet spot. Let's do a little of that Hendrixy, Bold as Love, all those beautiful double stops, and all the things that you'd want from a Strat.
Let's do it.
I realize that we've actually had on the vibrato circuit the whole time because it just sounds so great and is so subtle.
Yeah.
Let's turn it off on this one, though, and just go straight into a little Vultures.
Let's do it.
All right. Beautiful playing there.
Thanks.
Again, big fan of that song. Great percussive sound. This guitar in particular has a beautiful 2 and 4 position.
It does.
Really sounds great with this amplifier. I want to now move on to maybe like a combo where we can hear some clean and we can hear some overdriven. And I know that this doesn't have a foot switch, so I'm going to be your foot switch. And when we transition from a clean part to a dirtier part, I'm just going to insert the volume knob so it brings in that overdrive channel. And one song that you and I were kind of talking about in advance is the old Traffic Steve Winwood song, Can't Find My Way Home. I was actually introduced to this a few years ago, this song all over again in a guitar rendition through Todd Sharp, who actually did a beautiful version of this song at the Baked Potato here. And I know that you kind of learned some of that part.
Yeah.
I want to hear that. It has some beautiful kind of arpeggios and some clean stuff, and then gets into some beautiful sort of single note articulation. I think it really does a great job of showing sort of the duality of the amp and how clean it can be and how beautiful and 3D it is. They go to that overdrive and it's just this fire-breathing monster with tons of articulation.
Let's do it.
All right, Gabe. So this was a Fender modified by Howard Alexander Dumble, originally a 1970s Fender Vibrolux, but is dissimilar in every way from what you would expect from a 70s Fender. The clean channel is on steroids. The overdrive channel is on steroids. And whatever he did to this vibrato circuit, this tremolo is the sweetest, luscious thing I've ever heard. And for the price of admission, although very expensive, is still the floor in terms of getting into a Dumble and just knowing that you get this thing you're always going to be appreciated in value, and this can be your way into the Dumble Club and get something that very much sounds the part that you would expect of any Overdrive special. Gabe, thanks so much for being the demonstrator today, walking through this amp, such a great piece of history, and really an amazing amplifier through and through. Having been here and played the Overdrive special they have here, they are different animals, but the same animal in some ways, and I'm really, really impressed with this thing.
Yeah, so am I. It's kind of like pizza. All pizza's good pizza. All Dumbles are good Dumbles.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Yep.
So thanks for having me, and hope you guys enjoyed today's video.
All right. See ya.